Aloha. I'm Paul Norman, and I'm the executive director of Neighborhood Place of Puna. And today, I just want to take a few minutes to talk to you a little bit about foster youth and homelessness among foster youth, which is a topic that I've really become aware of in a big way since we opened our shelter. So, in doing some research, I came across this quote, which is pretty heartbreaking. And the quote is, "The back door of the foster care system is the front door of the homelessness system," right? So the back door of the foster care system is the front door of the homelessness system. And, others have described it as the kind of the foster care system as a pipeline to homelessness. And, be clear. I mean, this doesn't, there are many, 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 many wonderful foster parents out there trying to do the right thing. So this is talking about the system as a whole. And according to the Annie E. Casey Foundation, who has data which I think is pretty reliable, they estimate that by their data shows them that by age 26, 30% of former foster youth had reported one incident of homelessness. So, and that's just data. That's data from foster youth who they know about, right? Because they're youth who come out of the foster care system, who get emancipated and just kind of fall off the radar. So, of the ones they know about, 36% of foster youth have experienced one incidence of homelessness by the age of 26. Other organizations have estimated that that rate exceeds 40% of all former foster youth. And this aligns with the data that we see in our own shelter right here on the east side of Hawaii Island. Last year, we saw that 31% of the heads of households, the parents who are the heads of households, had been in the foster care system, right? So we don't ask, so if there could be two parents in the household, we only ask the head of household about, their experience with, previous experience with foster care. And 31% of those told us that they had a previous experience of foster care. So basically, just a little bit less than 1 in 3 of the head of households who came through our shelter last year had an experience in foster care, and that is a very shocking statistic. And I think it tells us a lot about the brokenness. And for me personally, the thing that is most heartbreaking is I consider our foster youth, the individuals coming out of foster care, as some of the most vulnerable individuals in our population. Right. So, let's just be clear. So generally children just don't get removed from their parents because of bad parenting. I mean, that's the myth. Generally, for a child to be removed, to be put into foster care, there have to be at imminent risk of harm. Right? So not just bad parenting or other stuff like that. There has to be imminent risk of harm to the child. And then if you think about foster youth, so older youth who get put into the foster care system, so these are, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17-year-old kids, can communicate, are presumably going to school, and think about the harm, the imminent risk of harm that they faced, that child welfare or child protective services felt like it was appropriate or necessary for the child's welfare to remove them from their parents, from the household where they're being raised. Um, and it doesn't, you know, it's not, it doesn't take a stretch of imagination. Maybe it was physical harm, sexual assault, all other kinds of harms. And you as an adult listening to this, if you had to deal with that, think about the impacts that would have on your life, right? How you would deal with that. I mean, that would be traumatic and it would take years and years and years to heal. And yet these foster youth basically don't have a support network. So they can't rely on their parents, obviously. And when they were with their parents, who knows what kind of upbringing they were getting. So, I mean, I think we take for granted how much we rely on our parents for support. And what a safety net, most families, most of our parents are for us. And I saw some Pew research recently that said that they found that for adults between 18 and 29, 52% of them are currently living with a parent. This is, I believe, 2020, maybe 2019 data. So 52% of all adults between 18 and 29 are living with at least one parent. And then if you dial it down and look at adults between 18 and 24, it's 71% of all adults 18 to 24 are living with a parent. So if you're a foster youth, that is not an option for you. And there are a few supports. So many states, I know in Hawaii, we have an education program. And once a youth leaves the foster care system, they can get support to go to college, get housing through the college and so on. But that assumes a lot of stuff about the competence of the youth to be able to navigate college, an institution of higher learning, college, university, after coming out of an unstable home environment where they may not have had parents who modeled how you're a student, the things that you need to do as an adult. So there are other, I want to be totally fair. I mean, there are some other housing programs for foster youth. But again, a lot of them are conditional, right? So parents, generally their love is considered unconditional, right? They help you no matter what. Government and institutions and programs have rules and structures and tend to be kind of low on the forgiveness factor, right? So if you're in school, you're a foster youth, you're in school and you can't make whatever the grade is that you need to stay in school, or you get in trouble for cutting up for being a stupid teenager, right? I mean, when I went to college, quite a few of my classmates had to take a semester or a year off because they'd done something stupid, right? Just being teenagers, being young adults, whatever. Foster youth don't have that. And so, so what can we take away from this? I mean, really, let's just, I don't want to flog this. What do we take away from this? So, first of all, this data tells us that we just need to take better care of our foster youth. We have more programs, more supports, and they need to go beyond 18 or 24 or whenever they cut off. Foster youth should be able to access help for an extended period of time. And we probably should take a look at the foster care system as a whole, because there seems to be some brokenness there if anywhere from 36% to 40% of foster youth who leave foster care who emancipate end up in the homeless programs. And for sure, we need, as a society and as a community, we need to fund more prevention programs and service and supportive services for families. We need to make sure that families and youth um, families have the things they need, the skills they need, the resources they need to be successful as parents. And that could be a broad range of services, and we need to destigmatize them. There can't be shame because you're struggling as a parent. And that's the way our system works right now. I'm struggling as a parent. I don't know what to do. I'm ashamed, so I'm not going to get help. And that's broken. We all are invested in the health and welfare of our children, of our families, and their children. So, ultimately what this means is we need to, as a society, as a community, we need to prioritize and highly value the health and welfare of families and children, of all families and children, not just the ones who look like us or live near us, whatever, all family and children. And we need to ensure that every family has a stable, safe place to live. They have healthy food to eat, and they are loved and supported in raising their children in a nurturing home, whatever that looks like. So we can do that, right? We can prioritize our families and children. And then if we do that, we can invest in those resources. So if you want to find out more about Neighborhood Place of Puna, please visit our website, neighborhoodplaceofpuna.org. And if you like this video, you can click on the like button and subscribe to the channel. And if you want to know when the latest video comes out, you can click on the bell. Aloha and have a great week.